Hello, I'm Fahmida Suleman, Curator of Islamic Art and Culture at the ROM. Welcome to ROM at Home. During the lockdown, many of us are experimenting with new recipes in the kitchen, so I'm going to share with you some objects that I've acquired from the Middle East and Central Asia that relate to baking and bread making. And here they are. I bought these three in Damascus, Syria about 20 years ago. These two were bought in Cairo, in Egypt, 15 years ago, and this one was bought more recently in 2018 in the city of Bukhara in Uzbekistan. So let's start with this one. This is a hand-carved mold to make these celebration cookies called ma'moul. Ma'moul are eaten all over the Middle East, but especially during important holidays such as Easter, the Jewish festival of Purim, or during the month of Ramadan, which is the month we are observing right now, and particularly at the end of Ramadan when we celebrate Eid to mark the end of the month of fasting. So ma'moul are made with flour, semolina, butter, a little sugar, and then they are pressed into these molds and stuffed with date paste or nuts such as walnuts or pistachios, and they're also flavored with rose water or orange blossom water. In contrast, these objects are bread stamps or bun stamps. They are often used to make milk buns or soft cookies called ka'ak, which are spiced with ground nutmeg and aniseed and a special spice called mahlab, derived from the kernel of a specific type of cherry. Bread stamping in the Middle East is an ancient tradition. Some scholars argue that the ancient Egyptians stamped their bread over 3,000 years ago, and others argue that the practice dates later in the Roman period. We have bread stamps at the Royal Ontario Museum from Roman Egypt with images of a menorah and a cross dating to around 300 AD. And we have one from Syria or Palestine from the Byzantine period, which was used to stamp sacramental bread for the church. The British Museum has a bread stamp from Islamic Egypt dating to around 1000 AD with an Arabic inscription that reads, "Eat with enjoyment." The last object I want to show you is from Uzbekistan, and it's called a chekich. This type of implement is used all over Central Asia to decorate circular leavened bread called non. The bread maker stamps the center of the naan before it is put in a tandoor oven, and the dough around the design rises in the heat, but the steam escapes from the middle of the naan so that the design stays flat. Now, I have had these baking implements for a very long time, but I've never used them. I always hung them up in the home and admired them as works of art. But for ROM at Home, I've decided to use my ma'moul mold for the very first time. And here are my pistachio-filled ma'moul dusted with icing sugar. I'm gonna enjoy them later with a cup of Arabic coffee or a glass of mint tea. So, bon appetit everyone, stay safe, and happy Ramadan.